So talk about South Dakota, give us a little preview and what went down during the bye week, and then open it up for questions.
Yeah. No, we're excited to get into a game week. South Dakota is a really good football team. A game that last year didn't go well for us up there. Just watching the film, it's a tough film to watch, but they got after us last year. We're looking forward to getting back on the field for a lot of reasons. Number one, our guys are anxious and ready to get back out and back in front of our home fans, and that's the best thing about football is you get the next week and get an opportunity to go out there and get better from the previous week. So we're excited about that. A great opponent, the Missouri Valley Conference, will be an 8-week grind, and we've got to stick to the things. Our team meeting yesterday was just reverting back to day one of training camp, what we talked about, what the fundamental things of our program is. That's what we've got to rely on now. It's one day at a time. It's about daily improvement, and it's about taking care of the process that leads to the results that we want. And if we stick to that, we've got a good football team. We're going to have to go out there and earn it, and it's 1 week at a time. And so we're excited about it. South Dakota presents a lot of challenges. A really good offensive football team, defensive football team, and good in the special teams. Well coached. Good schemes on both sides of the ball, and just have a good, well thought out plan. They like to go fast on offense, and they've got great skill players. They're coming off a loss too. They're sitting at 1-2 and have a lot of things to prove as well. So we're going to get their best effort. They had a bye week last week. We both had 2 weeks to prepare for each other. So I would assume there'll be some wrinkles that they've got offensively and defensively. And so we got to be ready to play. We've got to go out there and not beat ourselves and have those 5 or 6 critical errors that we had last week to give ourselves a chance. I thought we had a good bye week. We were able to get some rest. We were able to practice. We were able to get a lot of young guys reps. We practiced on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and gave them Friday and Saturday off, and then we brought them in yesterday evening and had a really good practice last night. They got today off, and then we'll get right into our normal week and then really keep that schedule consistent for the rest of the year now. So we're excited to get going. Unfortunately, injury report-wise, I know people will ask, we've got a couple key injuries, some guys that'll be out for the year. Jake Barble, our starting tight end, tore his ACL on that third down catch, and we'll be having surgery. We'll be out for the season. And then Cody Kreider, the same thing on that hit when he came out. This is his third time he's tore the same ACL, so we knew it pretty much right away. So did he. He's felt it before, and didn't look good on the film. And tough break for both of those guys, just because they put a lot of hard work in this. They're both leaders on our football team. I hate it for both of them, but the next guy's got to step up. I feel like we've got good depth in both of those positions, and the next guy's got to be ready to go. Quay Brown had surgery last week, just like I reported the week before that he would be out. Had surgery going on a week. They thought it'd be 3 weeks, so we should be getting him back hopefully by the homecoming game. It was just a meniscus surgery. He was out, even weight bearing on it yesterday. We've had 2 meniscus surgeries on kids that are younger already this season, and they're already back practicing, and they happened early in the season, and they're already back full go at practice. So we expect to get Quay back, but not for this game.
You expect Simon to take over for Cody then?
Whitney's played more at Sam, so you'll see Lucas Giegling has backed up really at Mike and Will. He knows both positions really well, and he's played at a high level. So you'll see Giegling out there will move into that starting role, and then Oliver McDowell will play both of those inside guys. We have moved Whitney inside a little bit. He's been more outside the box, playing at Sam linebacker, which they do present some different fundamentals and things as far as knowing the defense. So Whitney will move around a little bit. Bryson Strong has played a ton of football for us in practice and led us in tackles and scrimmages, and he'll get his opportunity to roll as well. And I know he's chomping at the bit to do that.
So Kilby moved into the tight end, and who would be the backup then?
Yeah, Kilby, will move in there and do a lot of different things. And then Logan Krause is a kid that's a freshman on our team. the kid that he played professional baseball and he's been here. He did a great job on Saturday. Varble was out. We called for 22 personnel. He's a big, strong kid that can block, and I think has an unbelievable future. He's pretty new to the game as far as coming back and playing, but this is a kid that athletically has an NFL skill set. He really does. If he would have picked to play football out of high school, probably be playing Power 5 football. He can run as good as our receivers, but he weighs 260 pounds. So, he's what they look like. He's been getting in football shape. That's the thing I told our guys. On Sundays, we do a developmental practice, and it's not just for redshirt freshmen. It's for guys that are on the verge, and he's taken advantage of all 4 of them that we've had. Just getting himself in shape, learning the fundamentals of what it takes, and now he's going to get called on to get, who knows, 40, 50 reps in a game, and those are going to pay off. And we talk about that each and every week. You never know who's going to be in this practice that's going to get it called upon here in 3 weeks, and if you take this serious, then you're going to be ready to go, and Logan's that guy I'm excited about seeing.
Jonathan will be back.
Yeah, Mixon, we'll get Mixon back, which is key. So, Mixon looks good out there. Practiced yesterday. Will be full go all week. So we'll get some guys back. McDowell was dinged up in the game against SEMO. We thought of that it could be worse, but he was full go last night, which will be key too for our linebacker depth, because coming out of that game, if Oliver and Cody were down, would present some challenges. But Oliver was moving around well last night.
With both teams getting bye weeks, what's the atmosphere for this game versus a game where teams only have 1 week to prepare? You guys both have 2 weeks.
Well, you get some extra time to prepare. We've got a lot of time to watch. Sometimes, like I've said, can be good and it can be bad. And your mind gets to watching the same thing. You don't want to do too much. So we got to take care of what we do. Offensively, you're not going to change too much. You're going to have your game plan in, some wrinkles for each team. But we've got to just stick to doing what we do, staying balanced. And, like I told our team, the turnover margin has to swing our way here down the strip plane in the Missouri Valley. If you look back historically, the teams that are at the top are up there in the turnover margin. And we've got to see that starting with game 1 is we got to be able to take it away more. We got after it in game 1, but we've only taken away 1 time since then. And then we've turned it over too many times. And so just the fundamental things that we've got to emphasize on doing. They're going to be great teams. Every week it's going to sound like a broken record up here. Good teams with good schemes, with good players. And usually when teams go at it like that, it comes down to disciplineness, and it comes down to turnovers, and that this week will be no different.
You start out with a young defense, Kreider going down, you're going to get younger.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes. You preach that all off season. It's the game that we play. That's why you hate it for the guys. You hate it for Cody Kreider. You've heard me stand up here and talk about what a great football player he is. He's got the right mentality. Attacks each practice, each day, the way that you should. So you hate it for them, but you gotta pick up and you gotta keep going. The players behind him have to do that. Cody's got to have a great attitude and now fill a role of being there for those younger guys that are going to play and helping them out and rehab his butt off. And I know that's what he'll do. But football is the unfortunate part of it is injuries. You know that going into it, and as a coach, you spend a bunch of time feeling sorry for yourself because you got some injuries. You're not going to be that good. You got to get the next guy ready to go. You got to get him coached up, because the next team, I guarantee you, doesn't care about what your injury report looks like, because I'm sure they've got just as many injuries and things that they're going through as well. So the next guy's got to be ready to go. Did
you miss him on that touchdown drive?
Well, Giegling made the interception we thought won the game. He was in there and made a great play on it. That's a tough call at the end of the game to end the game on. So Giegling's played at a high level. He really has. That's a guy that's going to be in the right spots, do a lot of good things. So he's long. You know, Cody's 5'10" maybe, and Giegling 6'4", maybe taller. So they're different players. They're both smart, and so Giegling will get in there and do a good thing. But yeah, Kreider brings a sense of calmness, and the veteran player does on your defense that we'll have to fill.
Coach, Terry, was Brown's loss a big reason why Terry got all those yards against the Southeast?
I don't, not all those yards. There was a lot of things. I mean, if Quade Brown was in there, yeah, he's our starting, strong safety. So yeah, you feel good about him. Michael Elbert did a good job. Our depth at safety, we really only rolled 2 safeties pretty much the entire game. So if maybe fatigue, those guys were in the 80 rep count. Where usually when you're rolling 3 and rotating them, they're around 50, 60 plays. So some of those bigger runs, getting to the football, doing those type of things. So yeah, I mean, Quade Brown's a big part of what we do, but there was a lot of things that went on giving up those big runs.
What is there anything positive that you gleaned from the SEMO loss? Anything that you learned?
Yeah, I think that each week you can look at that film and see some individual things that people did well. I thought offensively, I felt like those last 2 touchdown drives were drives where we knew we had to score, and they were able to make the plays to go down and not just and score touchdowns on. To retake the lead twice in the fourth quarter, some tough third downs, a 4th down twice, making, tough catches, learning the guys that we can count on to make plays. I thought DJ Davis, 35 carries, and just making he's had a great first 3 weeks. Not just his toughness, breaking tackles. I mean, he's a coach's, you take him all day. I mean, just the right mentality. I thought all of those, it'll be good to get Mixon back to take some of those carries off, because really I've been excited. Week 1, he only played the first half, Mixon, but he was on pace to have a 100-yard game in the first week too, and we pulled him back, and then had 2 good runs against Ole Miss too, and just got his knee banged up. And so to get him back, he can be a really good player. And So then defensively, I think at times, as a whole, we didn't play a very good game, as far as being in the right spots. And so sometimes you make your biggest strides and learn things from having a game like that, a wake-up call. So I'd say, defensively, we've learned, the hard way, but things that can happen, and for us to make those adjustments of, or finding out that some calls we can't make, some things that we're not doing well, that we've got to go back and make some tweaks, which we've done, and so you're always learning, good or bad.
Their defense as a whole has 29 tackles for losses, one of the leading rushers in all of the nation. But you look at your line, and they've only given up, I think, 5 tackles for loss the past 2 weeks. How did your line stack up against their defense?
Well, their D line's not a overly big. Some like we've seen, like against SEMO, they're going to put guys that are 330 pounds in there, tough to move, play a different style of defense. South Dakota's always been a defense that thrives on big plays, tackle for a loss. They sack the quarterback. They're really active. They're athletic up front. They move around a lot. So just the way that their defense is, they're going to play a lot of line games, twists, and then their linebackers are active and do a good job tackling the football. And so they're around the football, and they do a good job of getting you in those 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs. Last week, Weber State, you see the game, and they only gave up 250 yards of total offense, and Weber was 1 of 13 on 3rd down. Their starting field position was what won them the game. Weber started the game, average at the 44-yard line, I think, almost at midfield. Their D was put in a couple tough spots, and they were able to get a couple touchdowns off of that, and they were able to run the football just enough, Weber was, but really their defense played a hell of a game. And we know that that's what we're going up against. Last year we didn't score a point. So we've got a lot to prove and know what's in front of us to do that.
We have to move the pocket a little bit more to just try to buy some time to throw the ball?
Yeah, I think that we've been doing a good job. We got to get the ball out. Our philosophy won't change on that. You know, we're not a huge drop back pass team where we're going to just ask our guys to, you know, block for 3.5 seconds. You know, I don't know, that formula doesn't work a lot of places. There's a lot of good pass rushers, and that's a tough job. So we got to do a good job, yeah, of moving the pocket a little bit, getting the ball out, screens, you know, just got to keep mixing it up. That's what balance does, so they can't just sit there and tee off. Their defense gets it. The reason they do a good job is they get you in that tackle for a loss, get you in those second and third down, you know, obvious passing downs. And then as a defense, you can do a lot of different things at creating some confusion and bringing some pressures.
What's the biggest problem that Simmons presents for you?
Well, you know, last week he got sacked, I think 6 or 8 times, and really he could have been sacked 12 or 13, but he's athletic. I mean, it's hard to get him down. He came in and did a good job against us last year. You know, he played the majority of the game against us last year. He's got a really strong arm. He can make really all the throws. They do a good job on offense. They really do. Got a good offensive coordinator. They spread it out, and he's got a lot of decisions to make, a lot of run pass options. They go fast, and he's athletic. So they've got the quarterback run game element. They've got him running on just pass plays where he's going to break down and run the football. Really, that's what worries you a little bit. You know, you got him covered up, and then he gets outside the pocket and makes an off-schedule play. He's good at making on-schedule and off-schedule plays.
Early in the season still, but you look down your schedule and you see a lot tougher opponents. How important is it to make sure you don't drop to 1 and 3?
Well, I haven't even, you know, to be honest with you, haven't looked past this game. I mean, this is the toughest opponent that we've played. You know, they got beat by Kansas State and Weber State, who thinks that they can be a national championship team. So on the road out in Utah or wherever Weber State is. So this is a good football team. It really is a football team that does a great job and is right there, and a guarantee of their goals are to win the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. This is they went to the quarterfinals last year with most of those players back besides the quarterback, and this quarterback creates a different set of challenges. So they got a good football team, and if we're thinking back past that or what ifs, then it won't go good. So our 100% focus is on South Dakota.
Isn't your first and last thought, though, for Saturday to stop the run?
Yeah, we've got to do a good job of stopping the run. We do. You know, you would, or at least I would, you know, stop the run. They can beat you with the pass. You know, sometimes, you know, getting the ball rained down your throat's tough pill to swallow. You know, so we got to do a good job stopping the run. We got to be in our gaps. We got to play sound. Every team that we play, if you're not sound, they're going to make you play. And they got a good back. And but we can't just say that and then, you know, give up 400 yards of passing and then be in here answering the opposite question. So we just got to play all around good football. They're a good offensive team. They're going to get their plays. They always have. And so we just got to play fundamentally sound if we want to win the game.
Do you have your final? I'll give you questions there. Do you have your final non-conference game scheduled for next year yet?
I do. I don't know if are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, we've announced it.
Yeah, we play 2 of them next year. We play Arkansas State and we play UMass.
Okay. Will there be 11 or 12 games scheduled next year?
Next year we play 12. Yeah. So we still play Murray next year and SEMO.
Okay.
Anything else for Coach Hill?
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Nick.